Hey guys, Bearded Nate, welcome back to the channel. So, an old school friend reached out to me the other week and said, Bearded Nate, I have found my 20+ year old Pokemon collection in the loft. Can you take a look at it? And so this is what we're doing on today's episode. I've got all of his old collection through. Let's take a look and see what's inside. Let's go. Okay, so this is how it came to me. We've got a few other items just over to the side, which we'll go through a bit later. But yes, as you can see, there is a lot of cards to look through. But we're not going to go through every single one of these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go away, pick out all of the best cards to look through, and then we'll take a look at those. So give me a second. And here we go. So I've pulled out all of the best cards from my point of view that were in those sleeves. And yeah, let's just take a look at some of these. Some of these I haven't seen in years. They are absolutely stunning. We'll take a look at the conditions in all of them and see if potentially any are worth grading. As you can see, there are quite a few. So starting off, we have Dark Wheezing. This card is so hard to notice if it's hollow or not. You can see here the hollow pattern just sparkling there. Dark Wheezing. The condition isn't too bad. We've got a bit of a nick here in the top left-hand corner. Centering wise is pretty good. Let me pop the rest down here and we'll just focus on this one card. But there is a Dark Wheezing there. Centering looks pretty nice on the front. So yeah, we start off with Dark Wheezing. Next up is, whoa, I've just flipped one there. We've got ourselves the base set Raichu. Again, looking pretty nice. A bit of silvering up here on the edges, on the back. A little bit of grime. I never know how that gets there. Most of my cards had it as well. The back, ouch, the edging here is not good as well. It must be noted these cards were not sleeved, so if my friend's watching this video, you should have sleeved your cards, but we are all bad at doing that when we were like 9 or 10. None of my cards were sleeved either. If I could go back and slap my 9-year-old self, I would have. Next up, we've got ourselves a Chansey from base set. Really, really nice centering. Not terrible, maybe a bit thick on the top there compared to the bottom. And oh dear, I don't know if you can see that from the camera, but this Chansey has a massive crease right down the middle there. Oh dear, I did not spot that upon first look through. Unbelievable, what a shame. Chansey being quite a popular card back in the day. Then we have, we've got ourselves a Dark Machamp, and the condition on this card looks very, very nice. Interesting. No swell from what I can see, which is a little bit disappointing. On the back, a little bit of white edging there. Really, really nice. Let's try and speed up some of these cards. We've got ourselves a base set 2 Poliwrath. Very clean. A little bit of white edging there. So none of these cards at the moment I'd say were worth grading, but they are absolutely fantastic to look through. We've got ourselves just a normal base set Poliwrath there. I love looking at old Wizard of the Coast cards. A little bit of whiting at the top. And there we go. Next up we have Gyarados, or Gyarados as we like to call it. I should have checked some of the hollow actually. There are some slight scratches on these hollows. Gyarados has a bit of silverware on the edges there. On the back, a few nicks along the sides. Oh, if only we knew to keep these cards in better condition. Next up, we have the Blastoise boy himself, looking relatively nice and clean. I can see there is a bit of silvering here. You might not be picking that up on the camera. You can definitely pick it up on the top there if I move it ever so slightly. I say that and now it's not going to pick it up, the bastard. On the back, a bit of whitening up at the top where we saw the silvering. Really, really nice. Now for the big card of the video, we've got ourselves the Charizard. We've got base set Charizard. On the front, actually, doesn't look too bad. There is ever so slightly a speck of dirt up there that might be able to be removed. The hollow does have some scratches though, which is a shame. On the back, not as bad either. There is some whitening around the edges. I mean, like, on my personal opinion of a PSA grader, I'd say that this could potentially get maybe a 5 or a 6. Although I said that, and my Charizard I thought could potentially get a 5 or a 6 from Ace, and that came back a 2. So take my opinion with a grain of salt, but that is a fantastic looking Charizard nonetheless. Unfortunately, no Venusaur, which I'm absolutely bummed by. Moving on, we've got ourselves a Ninetales. There is some dirt up there in the corner. A little bit more here. What was he doing with these cards? Oh, and even more dirt here. This is probably a £1 Ninetales, as we like to say in Chibi Collectibles Discord. There we go. We've got some whitening around the edges. Next up, we are over halfway through, guys, so hopefully you're enjoying looking through these cards just as much as I am. We've got ourselves a Kangaskhan from Jungle, pretty clean, apart from a bit of whitening up there. Oh, and next up, and I did see this card when I pulled out, we have got a holographic Dark Charizard, and at first glimpse, this card looks super, super clean, but you'll probably notice already, if we take this card out, look at the corner here. It has got a big old crease, and what an absolute shame. Because honestly, this card would be grade worthy, I think. An absolute unfortunate shame about that bottom right-hand corner. Dude, what did you do to this card when you were a kid? What an absolute shame, as I've said. We've then got ourselves a base set Mewtwo. Nothing too special about that. A bit of whitening around the edge. Oh my god, guys. The biggest card. A first edition Machamp. Yes, that's right. First edition Machamp. Very rarely seen these days. I'm being sarcastic. All Machamps from base set were marked as first edition. Still a really nice card. We've got ourselves a Dark Arbok, which is a really nice clean card. Actually, probably, well, I was going to say the cleanest card we've had in regards to the front. Very, very slight nick there in the top. Otherwise, this would have been pristine, in my opinion. Next up, we've got two of these. We've got two Eevee Blackstar promos. I myself am not sure where these cards came from. Maybe they were just handed out at game stores, or perhaps part of a game purchase. I'll put up a little description on the screen now, just detailing where these cards came from. These aren't too bad. They're quite clean. Although I did check on eBay just before the video. They're not really that worth that much, especially the fact that it's an Eevee is what I'm trying to say, but still a really nice card. I love the blue, yellow and red representing the evolutions there. Next up, okay, so we've got a couple of Japanese cards. He doesn't recollect where he got these cards, but they're still really, really nice nonetheless. We've got ourselves a Blossom holographic there. Oh, ever so slight, half a swell there in the top middle. What an absolute shame that wasn't down a little bit more. And the next one is a Game Boy promo of Dragonite. Very rarely seen from my point of view. I haven't seen this card that often. And as for a Japanese card, centering isn't too bad. And the backing, there is some slight what I'm trying to say is there's some slight whitening on this card. But I think this is possibly a potential to grade. No swells or oh my god, I can't talk for shit today. No swells, unfortunately, but a potential to be graded off to PSA, maybe an 8 or a 9. And next up, we unfortunately have some damaged cards. Not as bad as my Zapdos, but next up is the base set Zapdos that has had a massive crease down the side, and the back looks like it's been through a dishwasher or washing machine. Poor Zapdos, almost as bad a condition as mine. Then we move on to the Hitmonchan, and the Hitmonchan actually, from first glance, looks really, really nice. Maybe a bit of dust there, that might be on the sleeve, but then we turn it around and someone's drawn on it. Look at that. What happened there? Someone's tested out a bit of a crayon to see if it's worked and then moved off. Poor Hitmonchan. And lastly, for the damaged cards, we've got ourselves a Nidoking, which has just got hollow scratches absolutely everywhere. Big scratch here, a ton of silvering on the border, and the back doesn't look any better. And lastly, from his set of cards, two cards to me that stood out is this Jigglypuff Blackstar promo. I have no memory or recollection of this card whatsoever. I did a quick eBay search, not too expensive, you're looking at maybe £5, but still a really, really nice card. Condition isn't too bad either, ever so slight whitening in the top, but still a really, really nice Jigglypuff Blackstar promo. And the last one, the last card that I have absolutely no memory of is this Team Rocket's Meowth Blackstar promo. This is a really nice card, and I have asked him personally if I could take this one, and he said yes, so I'm going to be adding this card to my collection. Miraculous Comeback is the move. This is promo at number 18 of the Wizard of the Coast. You can see all the silhouettes of the Pokemon around it. I say all of them. The only one I can recognize is Charizard. Actually, that might be a Butterfree up there. And that's about it. Maybe that's a Lapras, possibly. Oh, and a Golbat maybe. But this is such a really nice card, one that I haven't seen. So I might send this off for grader myself. It won't get a 10 because there's nicks, maybe a 7 or an 8, but still a really, really nice card. And moving on, next up is this Pokemon tin. Some of you may remember it. It was the tin that came with a number of Topps cards. You can see here, it is the TV animation edition for the Topps cards. I believe when you bought this tin, you got a number of Topps packs that you could open. So by opening this, we can see there are some goodies here. Oh my goodness, we have got... I wonder if anyone remembers this back from the 90s, early 2000s. If I zoom out ever so slightly to not show all of the mess on my desk. We have got a game mat. I can't tell where this came from, but there we go. We've got the original fat little Pikachu there. Really, really nice little collectible. And looking in, we've got ourselves... He did say that this tin was full of energy cards, so we won't look through those. There's a couple of trainers in there as well. What we want to look at are the Topps cards and see anything in here. So let's move this out of the way, over to the side. Let's zoom in and see what we've got here. Who remembers Topps cards? They weren't great. Not many people collected them. They were all after those base set Charizards. But these top cards tell a story from some of the anime episodes. We can see here, episode 9, The School of Hard Knocks. And then we had some full cards as well. So we got Muck, Drowsy, Hypno. We've got ourselves, a holographic Ivysaur. Maybe I'll put that to the side. We've got a holographic Raichu. We've got some other ones here. And these cards were infamous for sticking together, if I remember correctly as well. A few duplicates there. We've got a Marowak, another Muck. Episode 22, The Tower of Terror. The one where Ash dies and then comes back to life. Oh, episode 17, Island of the Giant Pokemon, where we first got to read what the Pokemon were saying to each other. Oh my goodness, what happened to that shoulder there? That is, it's a bit of a creepy shoulder. Dugong with the Aurora Borealis coming out of his head. Episode 11, Charmander, the Stray Pokemon. And absolutely loads more. Quite a few duplicates, another Ginga there. But yeah, these cards don't hold really that much monetary value, but they are so nice to look through. Is that a holo? No, it isn't. It's just Tentacle. I believe this episode has been banned in English now, right? Because it's Tentacle knocking down cities. I think it was banned or put to rest after 9/11, possibly. We've got ourselves a holo Slowbro there. Any more holographics? Oh, see, and this is what I was saying. So these cards were infamous for sticking together. Oh, there we go. Oh, we've got a Magnemite, and then we've got a holo Magnemite straight after. Those weren't stuck too badly. Oh, yeah. Loads of duplicates. So that is that for the Topps cards. A nice bit of memory lane down there. We've got a couple of the original coins. Look at that. We've got the Meowth original coin there. I wonder if the Chansey's in there. We've got... Oh, it is. Look at this. Oh my god, I haven't seen this in years. Is that going to focus up? We've got the Chansey original token that you got in like the base set boxes and other deck boxes. That is absolutely fantastic. And we've got some... Oh, who remembers these? These came in crisp packets, if I remember, like Quavers and Watsits and stuff, just around the time that that Johto was being released. So we've got Hoot Hoot and Noctowl there. I think I still have all of mine. I've got probably about 50, 60 of them. I remember once really wanting the Chikorita one, and it was the night before I was going on a school trip, and I had bought a bag of crisps from the shop that contained those, and the night before I opened the bag of crisps to see which Pokemon token I got, and I got Chikorita, and then the next day on the school trip I went to eat my crisps and they were stale because I hadn't sealed them back up and they'd been open for almost a day. So that taught myself a lesson. Okay, few more things to go through and then we're done. The first one is probably the most hilarious thing that he has. We have the Pokemon Trainers Survival Guide. We've got Sandwich Islands Publishing Co. And is this meant to be Charizard? We've got, I'm assuming, the trainer, and these little oranges are meant to be Execute. This little guy has got a mushroom on top of him. So this is a Pokemon Trainer Survival Guide, which includes red and blue versions. And oh my goodness, this is, I don't know what I'm trying to say. This is just absolutely crazy. So there we go, the wide world of Pokemon. Pokemon Gold and Silver. The sequels to the first Pokemon games, Pocket Monsters Gold and Silver, are due to be released in Japan in early '99, probably in March or so. With an all-new quest, new Pokemon characters, new items, and color Game Boy compatibility, you can bet your Biffy that Gold and Silver are going to sell millions in Japan, and let us hope eventually we'll make it over here to America. Well, good news everyone, they did indeed. Pocket Monsters Stadium, what the 151st Pokemon Mew, and they've spelt it M-Y-U. That's right, there is 151st Pokemon Mewtwo's, and you can even see that they've spelt it, where's the camera? They've spelt it Mewtwo's. Unevolved form Mew. Oh, his Mewtwo's unevolved form as well, so they speculated that Mew evolved into Mewtwo. So far, he's only available in Japan, where lucky gamers had one chance at Nintendo Trade Show to bring their Pokemon cards in and get him traded to their games. There's been no word from Nintendo on Mew's American debut, but in case he ever does come here, we included his stats in our comprehensive Pokemon Index. Oh my, you're not going to find in any other guides. Choose the right one. Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. Building a strong Pokemon party. So this is basically a walkthrough for Pokemon Red and Blue. You could potentially use it for Yellow as well, though Yellow does change it up ever so slightly. It tells you where all the items are, which Pokemon you can encounter, and percentage spawn rates in each route. Unbelievable. So this is definitely the unofficial guide, and you can see here attack chart. And what they've done here is they have broken down not just all the single types, but they've also gone into all of the dual typing, so normal flying, flying fire, water flying, and they've given you all of the attack, what's it called, like the double damage, quadruple damage, no damage. Unbelievable. And then you can go through every single Pokemon and see all of their stats. They haven't done it in number order, they've done it alphabetically. So let's see, they must have Mew in here somewhere. We've got P-O-M. Okay, so there we go. M-Y-U for Mew at number 151. Where's Mewtwo then? Oh, there we go. They've spelt Mewtwo right there, but they didn't at the beginning of the book. Absolutely hilarious. So that's the first book. We've got a couple more, but there we go. The Pokemon Trainers Survival Guide. We caught them all. Next up is the Crystal version strategy guide. This is Prima's official strategy guide, and I myself had this as well. So just like the original one, it takes you through every single thing in the games, all the routes, which Pokemon are there, where all the items are, tips and tricks for fighting the gym leaders, and everything else. Absolutely, oh my god, look at Professor Oak. What happened to him there? Absolutely fantastic. I spent hours and hours going through all of these. I remember I had the original, I had the Ruby Sapphire guide as well, and the Ruby Sapphire guide helped you unlock how to get the Regis, but they did it in code. So on the walls in the Regi caves were obviously the little dots that transform into letters, and I think it was the Regi Ice one. So I was halfway through translating it, and then the door unlocked, and so I finished translating it, and it basically says something like stand in front of this door for 2 minutes and then the door unlocks. So it took me longer to translate it than it did for the door to unlock. But there we go, there's the Crystal version guide. Next up is probably the best book out of them all, and that is the Pokemon Unofficial Card Collector's Guide. Now, I took a sneak peek of this, and there is something absolutely hilarious in this that everyone needs to see. So we all know that Pokemon cards skyrocketed in price over COVID pandemic, and we all remember the prices that base set and first edition Charizard prices were going to. Well, this book tells you how much, and when did this book come out? It must say 2000. So this book came out 23 years ago, and the price that they were saying how much some of these cards cost was amazing. So we've got ourselves English first edition price for a base set Blastoise first edition $40 to $55. What else we got here? Bulbasaur only 25 cents to 50 cents. Now, didn't someone around Logan Paul turn around and say that the first edition Bulbasaur is a $10,000 card? How wrong he was. So here we go. This is the best one, Charizard. So we have got English first edition price $65 to $100 for a base set first edition Charizard. Even a second edition price is only $35 to $45, and Japanese price $35 to $45. unbelievable. How much do Charizards go for now? Even in a PSA 3 or 4, you're probably looking around $65 to $100 for a battered up Charizard. That is unbelievable. What else have we got in here? So I want to see how much a Venusaur was. So let's keep looking. We've got Pikachu. Pikachu Yellow Cheeks, first edition, 50 cents to $1. I guess Pikachu bumped up. Oh, there we go. We've got a Venusaur. So a Venusaur, estimated price first edition, $30 to $45. What else is in this book? It looks like it just goes. Okay, we've got Jungle as well, and I'm assuming at the end we go. There we go. We go into Fossil. So bad Electrode, bad Blastoise. Oh, this must be the Rockets. Bad Dragonair, bad Gloom, bad Charizard. $14 to $24 for a first edition Dark Charizard. Missed it. Okay, and it even goes into some of the gym leader ones as well. Where there's a couple of Charizards, right? In Sandshrew, Brock, Misty. Who had the Charizards? Was it Blaine? Blaine. I can't see. My microphone's right in the way. It's right pain. Blaine. There we go. So Blaine. Blaine's Charmander, Growlithe, Arcanine, Rapidash, Duo. It's Charmander. Oh, there we go. Blaine's Charizard, Japanese. Oh, so this was even before it came out in English. So Blaine's Charizard was only $15 to $25. But there we go. One absolutely fantastic book and a blast to past to see just how much first edition base set cards were going for 23 years ago. And the Charizard, unbelievable the pricing that they were estimating for those cards. And lastly on this video, the last thing my friend had and kept is these. These are, if you remember, let's just move that down. These are the Burger King Pokeball toys that you could get in a kid's meal. Each box contained one Pokeball and a metal block. It's not a coin, it's like a slab of gold metal with one particular Pokemon on. So he had 3. This one here is the Pikachu. He had the Charizard and the Mewtwo. The fact that he still has the Charizard and the Mewtwo boxes, regardless of the condition that they are in, is still unbelievable. I won't open the boxes. I'm so scared of like ripping it or anything. But in total, there were 6. You can see here the Charizard, Pikachu, Jigglypuff, Poliwhirl, Mewtwo, and a Togepi. I don't think I ever had any of these as a kid. I was more, or I say we were more of a McDonald's family over Burger King, though I am slowly, as I became an adult, I realised the value of a Burger King Chicken Legend meal. Is it Chicken Legend with cheese? I don't know, the chicken one with cheese, absolutely fantastic. But yes, let's move those over to the side and let's open up the Pikachu one. So by pushing this button here, releases a little catch, and slowly and surely, well, there we go, it opens up and you can see inside the Pokeball is your certificate of authenticity. So if we zoom in, or I say zoom in, I'm just lifting up, we can see here that this is number 25 Pikachu, slightly bent, which is a shame. So this is the Pokemon Special Edition 23 karat gold plated trading card, has been produced to the highest standards of Nintendo of America. And if we take a look at the slab, well, it is quite heavy. And can I zoom in a bit more? There we go. So if I zoom in a little bit more, there you go, you can see it here. There is the Pikachu, and on the back is another. Yeah, there we go, there's another Pikachu, and it tells you a little bit of information. Not that I can read it. Mouse Pokemon. Oh, when several of these Pokemon gather, their electricity could build and cause lightning storms. Very, very nice. There we go. So I'm assuming, oh no, I've got my finger smudges all over it. I'm assuming the Charizard and the Mewtwo are the exact same. I think this can come out of this plastic casing. Yes, it can. I won't take it out in case I damage it. But there we go. One absolute fantastic find from my friend. So there we go, that was a blast to the past of over 25 years worth of Pokemon stuff from one of my old friends. I absolutely loved going through that collection. If anyone's watching and you've got a really old collection that you really like the idea of sending to me to go through and just take a look at for a video, I'll send it straight back, or if you want to sell it to me, or I can find someone to sell it to, just as I am doing for my friend's collection, then hit me up in a DM, send me an email. My email address is on my account. But yes, there we go, that was absolutely fantastic. I hope you enjoyed just as much as I did. If you're new, make sure to subscribe, leave a like and a comment, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.